Who's good, Potato? Spin the Leak here. I'm taking a break from playing Resident Evil 4. Yes, I have completed this, and yes, you are seeing this before I finish uploading The Evil Within. And I have completed half the game within 8 hours. I'm giving my voice a little bit of a rest, but that was roughly an hour or two ago when I decided to, or before I decided, to go ahead and, well, fulfill a promise I made to myself. I stated in a previous video, whenever I reviewed the Purge Anarchy, I received a comment from Almost Sideways, who is a fellow movie reviewer. Now me, I'm mostly an entertainment channel. People argue that it's also an information channel. I find it entertaining. Fuck all of you. And I got my hands on the trilogy. I felt that I couldn't adequately understand the films, you know, individually. I'd never seen the first Purge. I'd never seen the last. I'd only seen the second. I was very unaware of it. And I'm going to go ahead and do a review of the first one. After this, I'm going to go ahead and, you know, second, third, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm probably going to do a review to put them all together. First and foremost, I have to put my big nerd glasses on that I got. They're actually 3D glasses from the movies whenever I went to see Tomb Raider with Devin. I'm going to put those on and state something real quick. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. I have to say, using an annual purge, a day where all crime is legal and certain weapon types are allowed, Class 4 really just limits to armor-piercing firearms. It restricts use of explosives. That's pretty much it. Is not a valid way to bring crime rates down or help the economy flourish. Between, you know, let's just talk simple insurance as a basis. In all the crossfire and all the devastation and the arson, there's going to be a lot of property damage, both public and private. Insurance companies aren't going to cover that. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be expensive. Insurance companies cannot adequately cover the annual purge. It would bleed them dry. Let's reference an anime, for fuck's sake. Trigun. The humanoid typhoon is no longer, the damage caused by his fighting is no longer covered by any insurance company simply because it is too expensive. It is designated an act of God. That's what the purge would be. People would have to pay out of pocket for their own repairs to their homes, vehicles. The city would be hemorrhaging money repairing buildings that have been laid to waste by just rampaging in the streets. Funeral costs would go up. Honestly, supply and demand. The rates for a respectable funeral would go up, and people would go broke doing this. Another thing is a social kind of standing. Revenge is going to be a big thing. No one is going to wait a year to get revenge for something that happened on Purge night, and they're certainly not going to forgive it. Let's look at all these possibilities. Let's cover three things. Let's cover theft, murder, and rape. Because those are three very common things in the United States. Those are three things that people believe could potentially be brought down by an annual purge. Let's start off with the theft. A group of people bust into your house, steals your life savings, like holds you at gunpoint until you withdraw every last cent out of your bank account. You're not going to forgive them. You're fucked. You're going to be pissed. You're probably going to kill them the next morning if you get a chance. You're going to catch them off guard. You're not going to wait for the purge. And in fact, you're going to go to jail even though they wronged you. I mean, that's socially standing. That is unacceptable. Let's cover rape. Let's say you invite a friend over. Your family ties you to a chair and takes turns raping him or her all fucking night long. Doesn't matter what gender they are. Doesn't matter what they fucking identify as. You're not going to live under the same fucking roof as those people for another year. And you're certainly not going to pass up a chance to blow their fucking brains out. This is going to be a long-standing issue. Let's cover murder. Let's say you're sitting down, you're watching the Purge events, and you see a group of 4 guys beat your grandfather to death in the streets. You're not going to take that lying down. You're not going to live under the same roof as these people. You're not going to live on the same block as these people, and you're certainly not going to forgive them. An annual purge wouldn't last a decade. Within 2 years, at the most, it would completely destroy a nation's economy, and there would be social upheaval. There would be revolts, revolutions, people would be shooting each other in the streets every fucking day of the year just because they saw that one guy that fucked them over on the purge. So let's get into the review. Now let me say this. This movie is extremely fun. It's extremely creative. I love the way they represent it, and it's very claustrophobic. All this takes place in the home of the Sandins whenever they are faced with the polite psycho, let's go ahead and call him, and his giggling maniacs. A homeless man seeks refuge. The child of the youngest of the children in the family lets him in. And the family is then, for the rest of the night, accosted and tormented by these people until they eventually break in, guns blazing. This movie hits you with a real psychological kind of front, specifically because it does not show the actions going on outside. Sure, there's security footage that it shows, but really lets your imagination run wild with the crazy things that could be going on. This movie is terrifying, it is tense, and it is just fucking uncomfortable. I love the way that they did it. The performance of the crew was fucking phenomenal. This movie got some really, from what I remember, it got some pretty poor reviews. People thought it was boring because it wasn't a high body count. You have to remember, this is a very social movie. In fact, this movie was almost initially supposed to be satirical. They just decided to take a more serious tone with it. Honestly, this one's going to get 4 potatoes from me. The first Purge gets 4 potatoes. Have you seen this film? What are your thoughts on it? Like, comment, subscribe. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you in the next video. I know I didn't cover way too much in this, but I don't want this to be... It's raining. I don't want this to be a ridiculously long movie review. So, look forward to the second one where I re-review The Purge Anarchy.